Let's get it. Let's get it. Welcome back to A Mountain Echo. It's your boy Frankie. That's Isaiah Tejas, and that right there is Jonah Gallegos, and then Prepco Sports. And we're back for another episode. Again, Sunday afternoon. Whenever you're tuning into this, we appreciate you for doing so. If you haven't subscribed yet, do that. If you're here to look for a specific topic, go ahead and click the description. We have it all set up for you. If you're here for the long haul, if you're one of the diehards, we appreciate you for staying all the way through. Boys, let's get into it. We are we're in it. Basketball season is in full swing, and man, it just sounds like we're repeating ourselves every week here with NMSU basketball. It is a struggle, definitely a struggle. We have seen now for two back-to-back weeks our former players from last year heading into a different school that's not, they're not even going to a different level. They're literally moving within our conference, and they are, as Isaiah you said earlier, belt to ass on us. Uh, it feels like we're spiraling. It feels like we just can't figure it out. So let's get started here with men's basketball. Hooten's hot seat. I don't care if he's going to lose his job or not. That seat is hot because there is conversation about what the heck is going on with the Aggies. So, who's coming up first? Who's got something to say about the Aggies here?
Go ahead, Isaiah.
Well, man, I'm a little depressed, a little sad, and so sad, in fact, boys, that I actually had to rock the Miners today. I don't know if you guys can see it,
Oh
supporting my
no.
wife tonight. Uh, I mean, man, I'm embarrassed to be an NMSU fan. I can't walk around the gym rocking NMSU at all because it's depressing. Let me tell you this: Hooten, if he does not get it straight within the next couple of games, he is on the hot seat for sure, and his job is questionable, especially with a new AD and a new staff in the athletic department. Who knows what's going to happen? Because just seeing the last home game, I mean, playing Delaware, which was, like I said last podcast, a must-win game and an easy win game. Just seeing the fan base leaving the stadium early, very disappointed with the team. I knew it was going to draw into kind of a mindset the next game against Kennesaw State, which again, like you said, Frankie, it was belt to ass. I actually had to turn that game off halfway through. But and depressing time. Let's see if Hooten can get it together, man. Again, it's our offensive struggles that's killing us. What do you think, Jonah?
Yeah, and at this point, it's just everything. I mean, we let Bliss for Delaware get 23 points the other day. Um, Jones had 4 points for total points. That's Jamel Jones, and he didn't enter. He didn't start the game, and he didn't enter the second half until the 13-minute mark, and his minutes were limited at that point. I think the next game against Kennesaw, he had like 13 or 14 points. Um, I don't know. I don't want to say they gave up on Coach Ewan, but at this point, it's just you can tell that the energy isn't there. We're having former players just kind of have like their best games against us. Nothing crazy, but that should motivate you a little, even if you don't necessarily didn't play with the player. You still gotta defend your staff, just defend your coach, and not let them have that type of game against you. I mean, I heard that Zodie Jackson for I forget who he plays for FIU,
FIU.
scored 10 points the other day, and he was letting the fans hear it at the end of the game and whatnot. I mean, come on now, like that's your home court. You gotta defend it. You don't gotta talk smack to him or anything, but defend it through your play. So at this point, it's disappointing. Like I said, I don't want to wish ill on someone's livelihood or whatnot, but it might be time for a change in head coaches for New Mexico State. So um, we might be heading that way.
Yeah, man. With Bliss, it was an interesting 23 that he dropped on us, man. I don't know if you guys watched the game. It was very silent 23. And then what really stood out to me that game was, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Jones did not start the game, and
Right.
he
I
didn't get
said that
in
fool.
for a. Oh, my bad. He didn't get in for a while. My bad. I
Yeah.
didn't. I didn't catch that, Jonah. He didn't get in for a
You get
while, and he only scored 4 points. Man, our leading scorer was absolutely terrible, and we fell on Versace. Thank goodness that he came in and dropped 20. But again, it wasn't. It didn't play a part against Delaware, which was very sad to see.
Yeah. It looks like there was only 11 minutes played by Jamel Jones. Visech came off of the bench, but he had 30 points, or I'm sorry, 30 minutes of gameplay. So, um, yeah, I think you mentioned it before, Isaiah, that coach has just been playing with the lineup a lot, trying to figure out what works. At this point, you just have to put your best players out there and just have them ball. Um, but it's hard because then he did start the following game against Kennesaw State, and I mean we started off strong. It was an 8-0 score to get the game started, which means we only scored what 24 points in the next three-fourths of the game. So even more depressing that we started off so well. So I'm curious to ask you guys and get your input. Where do you draw the line for Coach Hooten, right? How what looks like a successful turnaround for Coach Hooten to continue to coach and have some confidence coming from the city, right, and from your Aggie fans. What do you want to see? What do we need to see out of this team to have some type of hope for next year?
I'll go, Isaiah. So I think that line was like it's past. Like there's no chance of coming back at this point. I mean, we could get back into a couple wins, uh, get into the postseason for the conference tournament, and maybe win a game or so. But I mean, at this point, when he keeps rotating the lineup, the starters and whatnot, I mean, that's a sign that like this is not working. He should have saw that. I think administration probably sees that now with that. So I think it's long past. I feel for him because he does have kids that made a home in the past couple of years here in Crucis, but that's just the name of the game. You gotta produce to stay in that type of position. So I think we might be seeing the last. I don't know how it's gonna work with the buyout or whatever we have to do to pay him, but I really see AD Fields kind of making a hot change in the next couple months come after season probably.
Yeah, and I agree with Jonah. I think the line was crossed after that Delaware loss, especially at home. Man, that was a terrible loss to see. And then honestly, you're absolutely right. This AD inherited this coach, and I think if I was AD Fields, I would love to have the opportunity to have my own basketball coach and hire my own basketball coach, and make sure I know what kind of quality coaching staff he's going to bring. And also, the sad thing is, like Jonah said, there are a couple kids that stayed along with Hooten. But now I feel like the energy really is not just to win games, but the energy for these players is to stack up as many highlights as they can. Because ultimately, the transfer portal is the biggest thing now in college basketball and college sports in general. So I think ultimately we're going to see that kind of selfish play from players, and we're already starting to see it because they know that this season is coming to an end. A couple more losses, and it's kind of inevitable that we're not going to go anywhere with this team. So they got to stack up those highlights for the transfer portal.
I saw that Elliot. I always love hearing the little fun facts about New Mexico State. I think the commentary that is provided by ESPN Plus is always really good. I don't know if you guys caught it. Elliot, I'm assuming, won't be going and playing for another team. He's a senior now. He's been with six teams in his college career. Uh,
Damn.
and I was just thinking, like, bro, how do you not stay in one place? I know transfer portal, COVID, all that good stuff, um, but it's that's what it's looking like. Where the guys that do have a year of eligibility, you don't really have a very good of a sell as far as what Coach Hooten is saying of hey, stay around. Let's keep building from what we have because it looks like we're just digressing week after week. I don't understand. I was really excited. Obviously, we had Coach T on, one of the assistant coaches, and he was really optimistic about the season, and it's just not going that way. So rough, man. It's a rough time to be an Aggie. We have a game on Wednesday against La Tech. Uh, La Tech beat UTEP last week, so I
Hmm.
don't know what's going to happen there. Let me pull this up here for you guys. We're playing La Tech, who's 5-5. I mean, we're pretty close to not making um, a conference tournament. There, I think that the bottom two don't make it. Is that right, Jonah?
Yeah, so 10 out of 12 will make it.
And right now we're at 11, boys. So we're on the border. I mean, FIU is right there, and we just lost to FIU. Um, yeah, it's depressing. I don't know what we're gonna do. But I'm gonna
Yeah, the
keep
thing
going
is
to
too, we
games.
still have like 9 games. We still have 9 games ahead of us, which either you give up or you play for your coach and play for your pride at least. So let's hope they choose a ladder.
We've lost the last 4 games, guys. Uh, sounds like a funeral in here. We got to get some energy up here. We're gonna bore our audience here. Let's freaking I don't know. uh,
That scared
challenging.
that scared the crap out of me. You gotta give me a
It's
warning.
challenging. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, let's move to the women's side. Jonah, have
Oh,
you been following?
I don't think that's gonna pick up the vibes much, but I've been
Yeah.
following a little bit. But they lost two against UTEP the other day, Saturday.
Did you watch that game at all? I was watching a little bit of it. Um,
I did not.
okay. Oh, you had a party. I was struggling, but yeah, um, they lost to UTEP by 10, and then that was like their only game. So there was hope there. We were supposed to beat them on Saturday. I thought we were going to be able to do that, and it didn't work out. Let me share here what our box score looks like. We had Lucia, who's our our most consistent scorer from what I've seen in our games. She's always lighting it up. Uh, Imani is right there. I mean, yeah, exactly. 21 points, 20 points. So these two girls scored 41 of the collective points here. They played most of the minutes, 35 minutes, 36 minutes. Um, yeah, we're in a depressing time for basketball with with our standings, and I think I mean we are in 10, so the women would make the tournament if the season ended today, but not again. Also on a three game losing streak, so 4 for the men and uh, 3 for the ladies. So hopefully they continue to get better. Hopefully they are figuring out what's happening there. Um, and yeah, anything else for basketball? Sorry, it's so depressing, man. Gotta
Yeah, to make things even more depressing, man, I got a letter. Speaking of the NMSU Aggies, I was walking to get my mail today. Got a letter from NMSU, good old AD Mr. Fields, and he chose the perfect time to ask fans and let fans know that the season ticket prices are going up. They're skyrocketing because of the Lou Henson Fund. So
yeah.
thank you for that, by the way. While we're in the middle of a losing season, I appreciate that.
I mean, when do you present that, right? I mean, this is the reason why you're doing it is because we need more players. We can't even
Yeah.
compete. We can't even compete with the teams that are in our conference, right? We can't. We can complain about all these big power conference schools are taking our players. No, man, our players are getting picked apart from our own conference, right? And so it's a it, I read that letter that you're talking about, Isaiah, and it's $100 added to whatever fees you're paying now, right? And so everything gets
Hmm.
grandfathered in, and they're going to add $100. But to be fair, what is $100 going to do even
Not
across
much, man.
another season for the players?
Like I had mentioned, we were talking about this fund, man. I think we should stick to a more mimicking these bigger colleges and these bigger schools and what they're doing for the for the players, man. Getting them more money, getting them more opportunities to get sponsorships from local businesses. Like I don't think this is the way, but that's a discussion for another topic, I guess, for another
Yeah.
day.
You know what the other schools do that we don't? Win. You gotta
That's true,
win.
man.
Yeah.
That's true, and it sucks, man, because you always hear the amounts that these coaches are making, the amounts that these players are making, and it's significantly lower and less than any of our surrounding schools. And I think we got to be more competitive financially and fiscally. And the way we do that is let's mimic what these schools are doing around us, man. That's what we have to do, and I hope AD Fields jumps on that train and figures it out because ultimately we need more money. That's the name of the game
Hmm.
now in college basketball and in college sports, and it's sad to say that it's grown that way. But money talks to these players, and money talks to these high-profile coaches that we so desperately need. Um, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see what happens. I mean, right now our faith is on AD Fields, right, to figure things out and create some movement. In We'll see. We need a coach kill hire for basketball. Uh,
Mhm.
someone who just comes in, and I mean that's kind of what Coach Hooten was like. Hey, this is a guy, and it's always a gamble, but sometimes you just need a little bit of luck, and so hopefully, uh, there's a different perspective. I think AD Fields, I was seeing, he's from the Oklahoma area. He's been a part of like the Texas A&M uh, university, and so everywhere you go, you build your network of people, and you notice really heavily, especially I know because if you watch the podcast with Moscow Sports podcast with Coach Terriante Thomas, he is. Um, he's from Mississippi, and so a lot of these guys are coming from Mississippi, and they know that, right? And you recruit from what you know. AD Fields has a different background and a different career into where he came from. So we'll see what happens. Um, but prior to getting us into high school basketball, because that is getting crazy, uh, I do want to come in here real quick and uh, get an update from last week. The men's golf competition that happened last week was in Phoenix at the Omni Tucson National Resort. I've driven by it. Beautiful. Uh, Beautiful weather. I was following it pretty good. There's no footage of it, but Ethan Close was our top performer for the Aggies. He tied fifth overall uh, in the competition. Javier Delgadillo, who I talked about last week, he finished his final round. He shot one under, so he tied for 35th. And so there were some guys that were placing there. Max Chan, he finished I think 72, and as a team we finished eighth out of 13. So middle of the pack. Season's early, still trying to figure things out, but it was a good turnout for golf. So shout out to them as they're getting started and spring sports are underway. So that there is golf talk provided to you by sports. I'm sorry, by Surf and Turf Golf. We do still have a running 20% off discount. Use the promo code ECHO. Go on to surfandturfgolf.com. Thanks so much. And
Do it.
now,
Go to Surf and
boys.
Turf.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Give us your money, please.
Not us.
Pretty
Get
much.
yourself a hat. Get yourself a hat.
And give us your money.
Uh,
Yes,
and if
please.
you want to, if you want to give us your money like
We do
that,
take
go
tips.
go to Jonah's subscription to his Substack. You do have an ability to do a one-time donation. So if you want to do that at NM Prep Co Sports Substack. Let's get it. Now, boys, for what's been really heating up. Isaiah, again, we were talking about it. Really exciting. We can't give you all the credit because there's some awesome videographers and the photographers and all the social
Nah,
media
man.
kids
Nah,
that are doing
man.
really
Nah,
good.
man.
But
Nah, man. Forget them videographers, man. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Frankie, give me a drum roll. Do you have a drum roll sound? You know what? High school basketball. Oh my
not
God.
that one.
High school
Ah,
basketball is back, boys. High school basketball is back. The game that I watched with you guys the other day, Oregon Mountain Centennial, was insane. insane. And thank you
Yeah.
so much to the staff for both schools for allowing these kids to chant. I heard some crazy chants talking about you look zesty, talking about who's your barber and all kinds of other stuff, man. It was amazing. Thank
It was cool.
goodness. Thank goodness it's back. The players were reacting in a positive way. They were going out there, they were putting it all on the court. It was an amazing atmosphere. It made the game seem so close. It made the game seem so amazing to me, in my opinion. Jonah was even interested, asking me questions about the game while I was watching. I was trying to tell him, shut the hell up, man. I'm trying to watch this goddamn game. Like, it was a really, really good game. The coaches were coaching their hearts out, man. It was fantastic, fantastic. Some questionable calls, but let me tell you this: Centennial is dominant. Centennial, man. If they
Oh, now
if
you
they
want to
beat
now you want to
Crucis,
switch to Centennial?
I'm switching it. I'm switching it, man. After watching them, man, I gotta say Centennial is dominance. They have the capabilities. After seeing them firsthand, they have the capabilities to match up perfectly to the teams up north. They have the height, they have the strength, they have the scores. If they have one scorer off, they have another scorer on. Jonah, you're gonna have to give me some names. I know 23 was going off. He was a grown man during that
Yeah.
game, grabbing so many rebounds, putting up that trash that was being thrown up. Number one, I don't know his name either, but you're going to have to give me the name, Jonah.
Trayson.
Scoring like crazy. He would not miss. He would not miss from that corner right in front of Centennial's bench. It was insane. He was hyping up the crowd. It was a fantastic game. I'm just excited, man. I'm excited to go and see this game on Tuesday, I believe. Centennial and
Yep.
Crucis, the top two teams in the district facing off. It's going to be the biggest game of the year, man. If we're, I mean, it's going to be so hype. I'm excited. I hope the students show up. I hope the students show up and they blow
Oh,
the
they
roof
will.
off that place. It's going to be insane, man. I know Jonah's not going to show up, but that's for personal reasons. But me and Frankie will be there front row, right, Frankie?
We can talk about it later, but I am going to go to the girls' game. I'm going to go to the Cruces Centennial girls' game because that one's
Oh,
going to be really good too.
man. Well, you know what?
So
I'm
my
going to be there front row.
so both of you are
I
gonna be
know.
my sources for news.
That's right.
Yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of divide and conquer because for me personally, the girls Centennial Cruces game is just gonna be as exciting. Very similar as far as implications to high school to the standings for NMAA, the Max Preps rankings. That one is going to be really good. Coach Abney, who will be on soon. There's some technical difficulties there, but yeah, Coach Abney and Coach Selby, who they kind of crisscross. Coach Selby was at Centennial, and then there's some background in coaching, there's a lot of really good girls there. So for me personally, that's the game of the week. They need to get some love too, so I want to make sure that I'm watching them. So, but yeah, the Crucis Centennial boys game is epic. That one is going to be a really good one. I don't know. I don't know who's going to win that one. I'm gonna shy away from making a prediction there. I don't know how you're gonna guard Cooley too, because Coach McBroom, who did a really good job on coming up with a really good scheme to stop the Brisby brothers, um, didn't really have much for Cooley too. I mean, he was consistent the whole time, and he did really good. And I'll tell you what, he missed most of his free throws. He made one free throw in that game. So he really struggled, but he was still able to, just with his presence, be able to really show a strong performance. And then Trayson, who you mentioned, Isaiah, is he's number one, and he's the one who really lit up and was bringing some energy to that crowd. He had 5 3 pointers, 4 of them in the third quarter alone. So that Crucis Centennial game is going to be a nail biter. I don't know. We just saw Crucis lose at home. We saw Centennial lose at home. Now what's going to happen here? So, Jonah, I know you got more insight into that. You just wrote an article on Centennial that them being the number one seed for district, and I don't know, man. Are they going to keep it or not?
Yeah, in the past years, Centennial has played Cruces pretty well. They haven't won, or they beat him last time in 2024. Obviously, different coaches, but last year They were up there with him with those 2 or 3 district matchups. But I want to talk about like the unsung heroes of that last game against Oregon Mountain. I mean, Reese LaMarraine, who's a quarterback for Centennial, he's a big man for them, number 13, I think, for
Mhm.
basketball. He just like uses his football bit, like body built to get rebounds, and he had a double double the other night. He had 11 points and 18 rebounds. Uh, I don't know if that's a school record, but I wrote in my column that it's probably not because they have players like Cooley too, who put up some big numbers in past games as well. And then I want to talk about Zayden Arellano, who's a sophomore point guard for them, and I don't know much about basketball, but I do also. But he keeps his dribble alive so well, and he keeps poised every time. There's a full court press or whatnot. I know Oregon Mountain gave them a couple fits
Yeah.
with the press they were in, but he handles himself with such maturity, and um, I really want to highlight him because I think without him, they do have some other great guards, but he's been stepping up ever since they had an injury or he missed games. Their starting senior point guard Johnny Renteria, but he stepped in perfectly, and I want to give him his flowers, and also Coach Carrillo's flowers. I know he wants us to talk about his kids and his young man, which is really cool. But also like he's in year 2, and people can say, well, he adopted a great team already, and he's has this easy route. But no, it's hard to coach any sport
Yeah.
and to have kids and staff to buy into your program. And he cares for that school, that program, and his young men. And even when you go over there, you can like back when I was there, obviously it was a startup, but even kind of visiting here and there, boys basketball didn't get much love in their locker room and their film room and whatnot. Now they got like some nice stuff there, and that's because of Coach Carrillo. So I want to give him his flowers as well.
Yeah, they did good. We looked at each other, Jonah. We're like, man, this is a game where the coaches had to make small adjustments. Oregon Mountain started pressing, and there was a lot of turnovers, and you could see visibly that Coach Carrillo was a bit frustrated with the boys and how they were dealing with that pressure that they weren't necessarily seeing throughout the game, and he quickly adjusted and they figured it out. But I mean, they had such a big lead, the game started getting chippy, where Oregon Mountain just had to do something, right? It seemed like maybe the strategy was, hey, let's just go take the fight to them and make them play a messy game, right? And to Oregon Mountain's credit, I don't want to create this confusion or let us forget that they beat Cruces 3 days before this, who
Yeah,
was a number 2 team in the state, right? So uh, we said it last week, Isaiah. I think it was you that said it. Oregon Mountain's week last week was super heavy
Hmm.
emotionally, coming off of a win against Cruces at Cruces, and then hosting a big game where it's like, hey, we have a chance here to take the lead in the district. Man, that's a lot of pressure. And shout out to Emmett McDaniel, who showed up, man. He showed up big time. And I wanted to point to a moment in the fourth quarter. He had some blood on his shirt, and they stopped the game, and they had to sub him out. He didn't get to shoot his free throws. He had just been
oh,
fouled. He
that's
had
right.
made 2 or 3 layups. He had 2 3-pointers. I mean, he started throwing up heat checks and making them. Uh, and he had to come out, and it was about 3 minutes of gameplay that he had to step out right there. That changed completely. They went into like maybe down 7 from what was a pretty substantial gap in the score. And I think that really slowed down Oregon Mountain. I don't want to make any excuses because Centennial did great and Oregon Mountain fought as well as they could, and they kind of made it close towards the end there. But if there was a moment where I can choose, it was that moment there where he had to come off and, bro, get the kid another jersey, run to the something.
And
But
bring in that
he
'99 jersey.
yeah, he came
Hmm.
off the court. Isaiah, talk to us what that does when you're on a heater like that, and all of a sudden the ref comes up and says, "Hey, you got to step out. There's blood on your shirt," and you sit off and you have to wait 3 minutes of gameplay. That changes pretty significantly the way you play your game, right? I mean, what are your thoughts there? I don't know if you gave that much thought, Isaiah, of that part being really a pivotal moment in the game.
Honestly, that moment right there saved Coach Carrillo. Let me tell you this, and it saved him a timeout because they would have the momentum of the game was so fast paced, and Centennial was actually turning over the ball quite significantly because of the press that they established against Centennial, and they had no answers for 14. I believe it's McDaniel, correct?
Mm-hmm. Emmett.
Yeah, they had no answers for him at all. Like you said, he was throwing up heat checks, and the fact that the officials stopped the game in the middle of that was insane. The fact that he also
Yeah.
took the player out was insane, and then the fact that he also did not let that player shoot his own free throws was insane as well. It saved Coach Carrillo timeout because as a coach, right away when you have one player necessarily going off on you and your team cannot beat that press at all, the next thing in your mind is to call a timeout, get your team to settle things down, slow the game down for them, and go ahead and draft up a new press breaker that'll allow them to be successful and get into their offensive flow a little bit easier. But hell, the official did that for them, and Coach Carrillo got away with that. And I think it leaned Centennial's way right after that. Right after that, that momentum shifted because it was a significant amount of time that he was out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it saved Coach Carrillo, but I know what you're talking. I know what you're saying. But Coach McGroom probably could have taken a timeout and kind of let him come back sooner. I think me and Isaiah were talking about that while the game was going on. Um, but yeah, I was kind of baffled why they didn't, try to put him back in. And it's no disrespect to the player that was subbed in for him, but Emmett had finished with 22 points. He probably could have easily gotten 30 points for that game. But he was just, yeah, he was doing all he can to keep him in. And unfortunately, he didn't have his counter partners, score like they usually do. Like Max Popskew had 0 points. Nate Pete only had 13 after having, 25 or so the other
27,
night.
27, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, 27. So, but yeah, it just it's part of it. You take away players, and Coach Carrillo probably saw that on film and said, "All right, we're gonna make one of these other guys beat us," and it worked out
Hmm.
in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, there was 11 points scored on the Oregon Mountain side at halftime. Uh, I mean, to be fair, there was 21 on the other side, so it was a low-scoring game. It was heavily a defensive game in the first in the first half, and I remember kind of going up to our basketball expert in Isaiah, and I'm like, how does Oregon Mountain win this game? And I could have asked the same thing about Centennial. Uh, Centennial was getting a little bit more. Their shots were falling, honestly, because there were just so many shots, just short, just deep, whatever it was really. It just was uncharacteristic of Oregon Mountain. But my question of what does Centennial have to, or what does Oregon Mountain have to do to beat Centennial right now? Uh, could you repeat a little bit about what you said, Isaiah, on what maybe you had seen on the defense and what defense Centennial was running that Oregon Mountain was just having a hard time feeling comfortable?
Centennial was running a face guard defense, and what that was is they were trying to shut down Emmett from getting the ball at all. And the way you actually get out of that and the way you actually put stress on that defense is you pick up the pace and you get on a bunch of fast breaks. You gotta be harder on the defensive end, create turnovers, so you allow Emmett to get that ball in his hands right away. And you do that by speeding up the game. And Emmett did do that. He saw that, and I believe Coach McBroom saw that too as well, and knew that that's what they needed to do, and they did it, and they started coming back. And uh, again, if they wouldn't have done that, it would have been ugly because it was getting ugly. It was getting very ugly after the four threes that number one hit in a row, and Coach McBroom had to call a timeout, and Emmett had to put on that hat, man. He had to be that guy, and he had to step in and take over the game, and he knew what he had to do. And I hope that was the conversation in the huddle during that timeout too as well. But now that I'm looking at the schedules, boys, we can't count out the underdogs. I mean, we have not talked a lick about Mayfield at all. And Mayfield plays a really good game on the third too as
Oh
well
yeah.
against Oregon Mountain. Yeah, that one's going to be a really good game too as well because again, Mayfield's coming off of a 2-win streak right now against Alamo and Gadsden, which were much need wins for them. And if they can steal a win from Oregon at the Castle, I think they're back in that contention of actually, making state and coming back in the district run.
Yeah, Um, Mayfield was a little bit off of our radar, right? I think we mentioned it where they're playing Gadsden. They did beat Alamo, which is huge. They beat them 52-45 in Alamo. We were giving Alamo their flowers that they were a really good team, and Mayfield was able to beat them. And then a few days later, Cruces beat Alamo as well. So just giving an idea of where that is, where they're at there. But Homer Walsh is the kid who was back, who played really well at Alamogordo, and we were talking about how the competition that they were facing maybe wasn't there, but now they played a really good Alamogordo team who we were saying we were giving them their props, and they were able to come out with a win. So, yeah, we're thank you, Isaiah. I don't want to forget about Mayfield because that's a team that we got to look out for. They're at 15, and Oregon Mountain is at 13. Obviously, this is going to change. It has not been updated since January 29th. So we have Cruces at 4, and then we have Centennial at 11, and Alamogordo 12, Oregon Mountain 13, and Mayfield at 15. So a packed district 3-5A for this year. So it's going to be exciting. We got some exciting games coming up this week with Centennial and Cruces, and I what are the other games that are going on?
Mayfield and Oregon, baby.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Do you have a prediction for any the Centennial? You said you're excited. Do you have a prediction, Isaiah, for some of these marquee games?
Yeah, man. So the Centennial Crucis one is going to be a hard one to predict, but you can't count out Coach Benjamin, man. He's been doing this for many years. He has that knowledge and he has that wisdom. I think it's hard to say, man. Coach Carrillo gets out coached in this game, and Crucis sneaks away with the win, man. That's my prediction. And then with the Mayfield Oregon game, I mean, this is going to be a big one. This is going to be a big one. I think I hate to say this, but Oregon's going to cut off that win streak that Mayfield is on. After this monumentous loss that they had, they did put a bruise on Centennial, and they were able to take a shot at the number one team in the district, which is huge, and that brings a lot of energy to your team. And I think Oregon Mountain comes out swinging and knocks Mayfield out, man. And so I got Oregon Mountain over Mayfield on that one.
Hmm. Uh,
Interesting.
yeah, I was about to say I'm almost opposite, which is super exciting. Um, just from what you have told me, in Coach Ben being able to outcoach anyone. Really, I'm looking at the kids and I'm looking at the matchups. Cooley too, if he plays the way he's been playing, we saw that Cruces really struggled to have an answer for Nathaniel Pete. And I think Cooley too is very similar to Nathaniel, where he will drive in the ball. He's got a shot. He's big. He's strong. Um, I see really a mismatch there, and I see a lot of similarities in Centennial that we saw in Oregon Mountain, where I think Centennial is going to give Cruces a run for their money again, and it's going to be really close. But what I saw defensively out of Centennial was really impressive, and I think that's going to be an issue for Cruces. And is that game at home or away
That's a
for
Centennial.
As that
Centennial?
Centennial. But let me tell you this, Frankie. Let me tell you this. What I saw during that game, during Oregon Mountain and Centennial, is that Centennial cannot handle the press whatsoever. They don't like that
Neither
pressure. They don't like
neither
that
can
in that
Cruces.
face pressure. Nah, man. Nah, man. Let me tell you this. Let me
Let
tell
him
you
cook.
this. Coach Ben is known for pressing. Coach Ben is known. He does not have just one press. He doesn't have just two. He's got multiple presses that he can throw in front of Centennial, throw them off their game. And that's why I say the coaching is going to be the most important thing in this game, man, because Carrillo is going to have to call timeout to make those adjustments. Because here's the thing: if you press, you take your big man out of the game. You take Cooley 2 out of the game because he doesn't even have a chance to get close to the basket because they have to get that ball past that half court line and get into an offensive set. I think it's going to throw them off. I think the big men aren't going to play a big role in this game, man. I think it's going to be the guards because that energy defensively that Cruces is known for against these big games, I think that's going to play a big part.
Well, I'll tell y'all
Interesting.
this,
Interesting.
and I say this, take it with a grain of salt. I am trying to build relationships with other coaches, but I do have a sports journalism take. But I do think Centennial is going to take the regular season district title, and I told you guys this, and feel like um, really the tournament title will be up for grabs. I kind of favor towards Oregon Mountain and Cruces playing for that championship district game. But I feel this Centennial will win on Tuesday. I think they have a very rowdy, passionate student section that will kind of affect the game as well as it did for the past two games that they played, which were away. But now they're at home, and I feel like a little more kids are going to attend that game. Um, but also, I just feel like Centennial might suffer one more loss, just one loss in this district setting, and then when they get to the district tournament, it's free for all at that point. But I feel like Centennial's on the rise, and with this win on Tuesday, it'll separate them a little more in the district standings. Like I said, Coach Band and Coach Cuddy are both great coaches, but yeah, it's hard to match up with Cooley, Reese, Trayson. They got Anthony Edis, who didn't score the other night, but he can score, and not taken away from Cruces with the Brisby brothers, with Ben Walton, uh, Talon Miller, but I don't think they match up well in size. And yes, maybe their speed and shooting will get to them with like Zayden Clark and those type of shooters for Cruces, but I can see Centennial getting not a big dub, but like a spread dub, but like they're gonna pull it off somehow.
You know what, Mr. Sports Journalist? I want to make sure
What?
you swallow those words. Swallow those words on Wednesday. I want to see you in the office writing that article that Isaiah was right. Now, look at me, Bulldogs. Look at me, Bulldogs. Go out there, Coach Ben, you do your thing. Show them how it's done. Go take care of business, boys. Get it done and prove these two wrong because they are wrong. You guys are going to get that dub on Tuesday. You guys are going to get that dub on Tuesday. Let's get it.
You
Bulldogs
want
all the way, baby.
you
Bulldogs
you
all the way.
you want to do a coach talk? Let me talk to Centennial real quick. Look at me
Nah,
right here,
man.
Centennial.
Nah,
Look at me,
man.
Centennial. Everyone writes off Centennial, especially boys basketball. But this is the year where they put a little stamp on it and say, "Hey, we're here. Remember us. We're gonna be. We're big. We're for real. We're for real. Go go."
Nah, man. Get it done, boys. Coach Ben, you know what to do. Let's get it. Let's get it. Give me
I'll put my two
goosebumps up
cents
in here,
in.
boys.
I'll put my 2 cents into the student sections, especially
You go ahead,
specifically
Frank. You do you.
to the Hawks. I love it. It's exciting. Um, what we see out of the guys that are competing is afterwards there's a good game. There's a respect there, right? Student sections don't get to do that or aren't forced to do those types of things. Just be respectful when you're going in the parking lot. Just like you
Yeah, let's
just
keep it
whatever.
classy.
Let's just be respectful. All right, we're all
God
just
damn it, man.
at the same time. This is a game.
Come on, boys. Come
That's
on,
all I
boys.
ask.
Hey, man.
That's all I ask. I'm
Hell
hey,
no. To
I'm
hell
as
with that.
competitive.
Hey,
I'm
man.
as
You guys get as rowdy as you want. Frankie, God dang it, man. Boys,
I just said
talk to me.
after the game.
Talk to me,
Get as
boys.
rowdy as you want. Ask whoever you want on who their daddy is. Do whatever you got to do. But what I'm saying is, after the game, there is a handshaking that the coaches do that sometimes goes okay, sometimes it doesn't, right? But for the most part, after the game, there's a handshakes. Let's go, get in your car, celebrate, but no craziness. The last thing we need is for nice things to go away, and this is a nice thing to have, right? So that's my 2 cents. I don't want to be the boring old man. I want you to cheer. I want you to do all that stuff, but um, yeah, Isaiah's shaking his head because I am the boring old man. I'll put on
Hell
that
yeah,
role,
you are.
but it is what it is. There's no need for you to do any extra stuff after the game. Um, and not that I
Except
saw any,
rub
we
it
didn't
in
see
the
anything
opponent's
crazy.
face that you guys beat them. That's all I got to say.
Hey man, Oregon
But
Mountain
nicely.
went to Cruces. Oregon Mountain went to Cruces, and they shut down the number 2 team in the state. And they did it over there, and then they felt it over there. What I'm saying is these teams are going to your home court as well, and you don't want the type of respect in your home court either.
Man,
And that's all.
get off
That's
my
all it
Bulldogs,
is.
man. Get off my Bulldogs,
That's
man.
all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I'll add that too. Let's keep it classy. Let's keep it on the court. Let's keep it
Yeah.
safe. Most importantly, that's all I'm saying too. I'm
Yeah,
for you
man.
guys saying who's your daddy and all that, but let's just keep it safe.
Don't be scared, boys.
Uh, any other predictions? We talked about the Mayfield Oregon Mountain. You said Mayfield on that one, Isaiah. I'm gonna say Oregon Mountain. I think I think that Mayfield is still really young. And I really like the same compliment that we're giving to Centennial about their size and their mix of guys who can shoot, who can spread the ball out, who can finish at the hoop, and really get teams into foul trouble. Because that's what Nathaniel does is he gets to the free throw line and he gets teams uncomfortably high on their fouls, and that changes the game a lot as well. I'm
Does he
feeling
make
an
them all?
Oregon Mountain
Probably
win.
not.
Hey, the Cruces one, he did.
He did.
I'll
He
pull
did.
up
He did.
receipts.
He did,
For
Nate. No,
Cruces,
he
he
did.
did really well, and so let's
Speaking of
let's put some
receipts, I did
respect on
not
him.
say Mayfield was going to win this one. I said Oregon
Oh,
Mountain. But
oh, did
okay,
you? Okay,
continue.
okay, okay. Gotcha,
Yes,
gotcha,
sir.
gotcha. Okay, I got Oregon Mountain too. Good.
Put
I'm
some
glad we
respect on
cleared
my
that
name.
up. All right,
All right.
all right, man. Okay. Um, anything else there for? We got a big week. It looks like we're all in agreement. The Cruces Centennial game is going to be the matchup of the week, at least for the first part, and then it'll be Mayfield Oregon Mountain on the second half of the week this week, right?
No,
No,
that's still the first half.
is it?
But yeah. Yes,
I'm all
sir.
over the place. I apologize. I have it written down. I didn't put dates. My bad.
Yeah, I think they
It'll be
both play Tuesday.
Mayfield Crucis the second half. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is the Tuesday marks the end of the first quote unquote round, and then they head into the second games.
The second round of
But
games.
I did want, like you
You
said,
make sure to quote me on that article, Jonah. You make sure to quote me on that
hell no,
thing.
I ain't quoting you nothing. But the like we said, the girls too. The girls are Centennial's running away with that one, but it's Centennial Mayfield Cruces running for the district title. Um, like I said, I don't know. Centennial's looking good as well, but Cruces and Mayfield, they're not going to back down. Cruces suffered a little setback with their injury to Zoe. Mayfield still has Sienna McKinnis. They have shooters in, I think Ashlyn Maya is her name, and so yeah, we can't count them out either. I don't want to forget the girls, and I'm going to be doing a similar pieces to what I did on the boys. I'm going to do on the girls in the next couple of weeks. So um, stay tuned for those as well.
Yeah, you have Cruces at
Subscribe,
9,
baby.
Mayfield at 10, and I'm sorry, and Centennial at 8. So still 8, 9, 10 there. I mean, we might have a better chance. I think I think we're still seeing three teams from boys and girls being able to make it to the state tournament.
Let's go make
And
that
yeah,
tournament. Make our week busy, please.
That's
yes,
right.
ma'am. Yes, ma'ams. Yes, that's what we want. That's what we need from the ladies, and yes, sir, for the boys. That one's exciting, and I'm highlighting that one. Like I had said earlier, the Centennial Hawks against the Las Cruces Bulldogs on Tuesday is going to be the game of the week for me. It's going to be an exciting one.
Do we know
Um,
if those are any of those are going to be on LCPS TV?
I believe that this game is going to be the LCPS
The girls?
game of the week. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yep.
Okay. Well, let's hope the boys are to stream too, because I gotta watch both somehow.
I'm trying to get here to.
I'll keep you updated. Don't worry, Jonah.
Oh God, no! Of all
Don't you
people,
worry about it, Jonah.
I don't want you texting me at all that day.
I'll text you quotes that you can put in your article.
Please don't. Please, for the love of God, don't talk to those coaches.
I'm gonna text you who's your daddy, like the Centennial Centennial Chat. Who's your daddy?
you're, you're gonna send me. You're gonna send me chants through voice
Quote that.
messages. That's fine.
We should start writing down like the top ones, and we should rank the top chants,
No, my favorite
student
one
section
is gonna
chants.
be. It's gonna be. You're so zesty. That's gonna be Isaiah's new one.
No, man. The Who's Your Barber one was crazy, man. That was out of
Oh, that
pocket.
was wild, bro. Yeah, y'all need to be nice, but that was wild.
Oh, man.
I like that. See, let's not get confused here. I love that. But once the game is over and you won the game, let's be classy. Is all I'm saying. I love those.
All
I
right,
love the
Principal
creativity.
Rios.
Yeah,
Hey
we
man.
get it.
Hey
We
man.
get it.
All right. Uh, yeah. It'll. Gosh, you guys are crazy. Yeah. So Cruces is going to be playing back-to-back games here. Oh my gosh, where am I? We already saw, like we said, this is the end. Tuesday is going to be the end of the first round of district play, and we saw Cruces lose to Mayfield. That was the game where Zoe was injured, and it was just like kind of a gut punch late game. But Cruces had an early lead, and I think that one is going to be really interesting to see there on Thursday as well. So some two really solid games there, and I wanted to ask you guys. I that's about as much information for girls basketball that I have. Cool. Anything else for basketball? Anything that we're missing
No, sir. Let's
for
move on
for
to your
athletics?
nice non-major sports.
Let's do it.
Well, um, I really don't have much for swimming. If you're listening to this and you know someone who swims in the coldest time of the year, call me. Call one of us. Um, but Mayfield does have an eighth grader that qualified for state. That's the only information I can find.
Oh, wait.
Malia.
I have a non-major sport. Can I announce it?
Do you have
What?
what do you mean you have a non-major
I
sport?
have a non-major sport like news
Update.
that I update. There you go. There you go. I have an update, boys. I have an update. I was
Sure,
scrolling through my feed
forget
today.
Malia, I guess. Fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, my bad. Shout out to Centennial Cheer for grand champion this weekend at the cheer competition. I don't know if that was on your notes, Frankie. Was it on your notes?
Nope.
Hell yeah. Let's go. Okay, cool. Shout out to Centennial Cheer and Coach Zamora. They were grand champion this weekend. I know that. Because of my wife. So shout out to them. There we go.
Do
Got to
you
put
know what a
something in there,
grand
boys.
champion is? I'm not trying to pick on you. I don't know what it is, so you know.
It's like the overall
Yeah,
champion of.
it's the overall champion of like they're day ones and day twos and all that good stuff. I can bring my wife in here for reference, but she's doing some schoolwork. Shout out UTEP. But yeah, no. Go ahead, Frankie. Sorry to cut you off. That
Yeah, I
was
saw
gonna
some
leave my mind,
classific.
man.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I see some classifications on like cheer with music and then stuff that's choreographed. So everything has different criteria that you have to meet and do some type of point system, right? Is how that typically works. How many performances in the 2 day event does a cheer team typically do?
It's usually
I
two.
think this was a 1 day.
Okay.
Everything's 1 day until, or even states 1 day now. They moved it to 1 day.
Yeah, they changed it.
Um,
Yeah, that's
but
right.
yeah, they usually do 2 routines.
But anyways, go ahead, Frankie.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, you have Malia, who's an eighth grader. She qualified for state. She is doing the 500-meter freestyle. So um, that's essentially a lap and a quarter of on a track. Is swimming, doing that as an eighth grader and qualifying in state. So shout out to her. That's a lot of swimming. I don't think I can do that. And then Arabella is another swimmer for Mayfield, and she qualified for two events. She qualified for the 200-meter freestyle and then the 100-meter breaststroke. So that event apparently was in Artesia. If you look on Max Preps, the swimming event is listed for next Saturday. But Mayfield Swimming updated that they just competed in Artesia and qualified for state. So take that with whatever information you'd like that. Store that in the maybe Frankie's right department. But shout out to the Mayfield Swimming social media for posting their players. That makes it easier for us, easier for me to figure out what the heck is going on there. Um, and then we had
Where
some
is the
wrestling.
state tournament held for swimming?
Albuquerque.
Oh, we got a pretty damn nice pool over here at NMSU. But anyways, go ahead, Frankie. Wrestling.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we have district champions, 8-time district champions for Cruces High for the boys, 8 years in a row. Uh, pretty darn impressive. It was pretty close there for a little bit. There was a pretty good crowd. I was laughing because the event happened at Las Cruces High School, and the basketball team was just walking out of like where the coaches' offices are, in that little space between the bleachers, right there, that little walkway in there. And they were all standing there watching the wrestling because it's all right there in the center mat. They're right in the center of the basketball court, and wrestling, you get into some pretty painful positions, and uh, there was a kid whose arm was getting kind of pushed back. He was trying to keep his back off, and so they were like in like a half guard situation, and so essentially his shoulder was being pressed back, and he had his head turned like this, and funny enough was like looking right at the basketball team. So um, the basketball team was just like, "Oh shit!" They were freaking out. They stood there for about an hour watching. The girls went first, and Cruces won 48-36, and they got their. I think it's three in a row. They've won for sure two in a row, but I think they won 3 years ago as well. So 3 years in a row for district for the Bulldogs, and then eight in a row for the boys. Obviously, Colby. There was a moment I was sitting on the wrong side. Colby almost got pinned. Not really, but to his standards, it was pretty funny because his back touched the ground. When I say almost pinned, his back touched the ground for like a split second, and that never happens. Uh, but once Colby went up, you had the seniors really do really well. Danny Amato wrestles. Dude's a beast. I talked to the coaches afterwards, and one of the coaches was like, "Of course he did good. He's Danny. So he's just a stud, great athlete, and good to see a dual sport or tri sport because he also plays baseball. So once wrestling is over, I'm going to assume that he's going to head over to baseball and do that too. So um, good for him. He's doing awesome. Elicio Cecineros, I want to give him a shout out because he won his 100th match of his career. They took a picture with it. I wasn't able to get that picture. Las Cruces Bulldog Wrestling, their Instagram page, I messaged them to get the picture because I did see that they had a little poster. In basketball, when you hold up the sign for 100, the points that you score, they put out something like that after he won his match. I'm hearing Mateo, who typically fights in the 115 heavyweights, where I was kind of hyping up that one with Keegan from Centennial as like the big rivalry. Mateo's been going through some issues, and hopefully he'll be back. He got hurt. I think it was a shoulder or something. Don't quote me on that. But he hasn't been wrestling, so Elicio wrestled Keegan instead of Mateo there, and congratulations for that win there. So um, those are the minor sports for us. Golf hasn't really gotten started. I think there's some tennis happening as well. But that's it, boys. That's all I got for us this week. Anything else we missed? Anything you want to bring up, Isaiah?
No. Happy uh Black History Month, boys. Got some
Absolutely.
historical figures right behind me. Where are they at? Right here. Yes, sir. But you guys ready to
I
call it
like
a
that.
night?
Yeah, I'll just say something and then we'll call it a night. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube, but also NM Prepco Sports. Uh, I see the Sun News. It's a copy and paste world with everything, but they're really kind of trying to start with the high school coverage. And again, I have nothing against their writer, Nick Coppola, I believe his name is. But yeah, I'd say we both have different writing styles, and I'd say that I'm a little more column based, but I would say just subscribe to Interprepco Sports. It's a free subscription. If you want to further that, it's $5 a month or $50 a year. So yeah, don't be afraid to reach out and tell me about a story idea or whatnot. So that's all I need. Go ahead, Isaiah.
A Mountain Echo, say something nice to somebody. You never know what they're going through. It could change their life. Thank you guys so much. Go Bulldogs. And A Mountain Echo, we're out, baby.
Peace.